women have a lot of men too. Let's be honest. It's both ways. I'm just gonna clack a tea.
She spilled the tea.
I'm just saying, like, women have rosters, so. And let's be honest, as we get older, we're elevating. So it's just like, I'm not gonna be on the same wave of partying and turning up. Like Bado said, like, you know, you used to party, you still party,
I still
but
party,
not as much.
Exactly.
So I feel like a lot of the times people make decisions that lead to them only having those options as jobs. Maybe it might not even be their choice. They might want a different job, but they don't know how to get there. Or they don't have the knowledge to get there. So sometimes it's just a restriction of the economy and the society we live in.
Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Reality on Repeat. My name is Bertain. I'm your host. As my co-host and my partner in the studio today is no other than
Mem. Welcome to another episode of Reality on Repeat, guys. I'm not gonna let Bado introduce me anymore. So as always, we're excited to be here. Just tune in. Thank you, guys, and have fun.
Wow, you're not gonna let me introduce you anymore. Okay.
They even know me already.
All right. As our guest for today is no other than a smart lady. She's an educated Black lady. She's a counselor. She's the life of the party. And we're talking about one of Cameroon's finest, Senze. Welcome to Reality on Repeat.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to our podcast. We're very excited to have you today, and we just hope you have fun.
I'm gonna have fun. I had a great time watching you guys, and I'm excited to be here.
All right, that's great.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you today.
All right, guys. Before we get into what we have to talk about today, I would like to say if you're interested in, having an episode or have anything that you'd like to talk about, you can hit up Badu or myself, and we'll discuss a topic and have you on here, like we have Senze here today. And also, don't forget to follow us on YouTube, subscribe, like, and all that good stuff.
And follow our other socials. That's Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Yep. And we're going to get right into it. We always start with like an icebreaker type question. Okay. And so I just have a couple random questions today. So I'm going to hit you from, so my first question is, if a genie grants you one wish, what would it be?
To be able to fly.
Oh, why would you want to fly?
I don't know. I love traveling, so I just feel like I would save on the cost of the plane tickets. So I could just fly there. I mean, yeah, but maybe I could just make like little stops, stopping here and there. But I mean, I could fly sometimes.
Yeah.
So you just want to be flying the whole time?
Yeah, like, I don't know. Not the whole time, though, of course.
You know what I want?
What?
Unlimited money.
That's good.
That's a good one.
I mean, on unlimited money, I don't want to work no more.
Well, I feel like everybody says that one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna join the queue. I mean, I'm not gonna change my mind because everybody says it.
I can't think of something right now. Maybe like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the smartest person on earth, just so that I can like outsmart everybody else. Call y'all dumb.
I love that.
I'm just joking, guys. What's more important for you traveling? What's more important when you're traveling, right? So is it comfort and relaxation or the energizing new experiences?
The energizing new experiences. I just feel like sometimes you don't have to be comfortable. Like, traveling is all about getting out of your comfort zone.
Oh, really?
I'm not saying no be comfortable, like the bed doesn't have to be nice or it doesn't have to be clean, but like, I'm not saying I always have to be comfortable because like I'm scared of heights, but I like roller coasters. It does make me uncomfortable.
And you wanted to fly?
I'm just scared of heights. I wanted to fly. Yeah. I know, I'm a daredevil. It's the rush of it.
Yeah. Bado, what about you?
That's a tough one because I like comfort, to be honest. But I mean, you always want to experience like new things. So it's kind of like a tough one for me.
Pick one. Just pick one, bro.
I'm not really. I'm gonna say comfort.
Yeah. I'm leaning more towards comfort because like my last trip for my birthday last year, my friend not forced because it's gonna sound bad, but it's like she
made you.
Yeah, she kind of convinced me into doing the flying thing where you're in the air tied to the boat.
Oh, Oh,
I hate
what is
that
it called?
video.
Yeah, I saw the video.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
hate that shit, bro. Like,
I wanted to do that though.
good luck. If you love heights, absolutely do it.
No, I don't like heights, but it's on my bucket list.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason why I do things. Like, I just do it once so I can just like
Experience it.
yeah, and be like, I'm never doing that
That's
shit
me.
again. I'm never
That's
doing.
me.
You can't pay me to get on there no more. So the last one would be like, if you had to, this kind of ties into like your first answer. If you had to choose one, would you rather be invisible or be able to read people's mind?
That is a good one. Do I have to go first? Bado, you
Bado,
feel like
you
you're
go
ready.
Invisible, read people's mind. I'll go invisible.
Invisible?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
I mean, because I can hide and listen to people, and at the same time, like I can just do a lot of stuff.
That
with,
is
like, being
true.
You're one
invisible.
thief.
Yeah.
He said do a lot of
go to the
stuff.
bank and carry out a heist.
Yeah.
I think I like that idea too.
Yeah.
No evidence.
No evidence.
I think I would like to read people's minds. I don't know. I'm sometimes nosy. Not to say like, oh, I
Oh
want to
my
read your
God.
intrusive thoughts, but I am a nosy person. So it's like, ooh, tea.
Yeah, I think I would rather be invisible just
Mm.
because, like, you know how sometimes just even hearing people's opinion is like, I didn't need to know that.
Mhm.
Like, fuck. And
I get
also,
that.
like, do you think, like, sometimes when you just sit down and you see some trifling stuff, you're like, fuck. Just imagine having to see, like, or read people's mindset about
No,
you.
I
every
get that.
day.
I do get that, but I feel like that's why I'm a counselor because I like to get into it and just learn more about the person. So
Yeah, good for you.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. I would rather be invincible. Like I said, I can hide and listen to whatever you're
Yeah.
saying, and you know, if you're having a conversation with someone, I can hide and listen to what you're saying, and you won't ever know that I'm listening. But being invisible, I can also do multiple other stuff, like you know,
tell me
But if you can
maybe
al-
visit the wall
But if you
bank.
can also like read people's minds, then I guess like in interviews, I guess you could like read the questions before they ask you and stuff like that.
yeah.
I don't want to go to interviews.
You need a job.
Oh wow.
Not that he doesn't have a job.
I'm gonna get a job anyway.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Well, all right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into our topic for today. And today we're gonna be talking about what you should be doing with your 20s. What
I would like to
could you be doing
rephrase
in
that.
your 20s?
It's navigating life in our 20s.
Navigating life in your 20s.
Yeah, like we're gonna talk about some tips, you know, what as he said we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing, just like a couple advices, and don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comment section. Right.
Who wants to go first?
I mean, you could go first.
All right, I'm gonna start. For me, I'm just gonna say, I mean, I've not been through my 20s like all the way yet, but I'm halfway there. And for me, I'm just gonna say being in your 20s is like one of the most, if not the most important stages of your life.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of us, like, we kind of waste it, especially like our early 20s. We start to realize like we have to take our life serious when we get to like our mid 20s, to be honest. Like that's like for about 50%, and then some don't even realize till they start going into their 30s and stuff. So I feel like for me, first thing I'm gonna say is our 20s is like the most important part of our lives, and a lot of us, we tend to waste our early 20s, and I was obviously part of that. I'm not gonna say I completely wasted mine, but looking back at it, I feel like I did a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have done in my 20s,
Yeah.
in my early 20s.
We're gonna get into it, but you're gonna tell us some of those things. That you think you
Literally.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I'm kind of like in between what you just said. Like you feel like people should take it more seriously. I'm more on the not that we should take it seriously. I'm more on the angle of our 20s is experimenting. That's when we're not under the guidance, the shield of our parents anymore, or like counselors or school as you are. And we're just like moving into like real adulthood. That's the real life. That's, you know, when you get into college.
Real life.
Yeah. And you start seeing it's not exactly what we pictured. Like we're sheltered, you know, high school, all that stuff. So I feel like our 20s is more experimenting, always learning, and most importantly, growth. What do you have to say about that?
Honestly, I would say I agree with that because my 20s was spent focusing in school. Like I said, I had my master's degree. So like after high school, I went straight to college. And then after I got my bachelor's, I went right back and got my master's right the year after. And it was like a year program, which honestly, my counterparts were probably having fun. Some of them were having kids. I was just like, you know what, let me take this year to really get myself a little bit up there so that I can have some type of safety net. So I can have fun and explore and travel, like I was saying, but also being serious.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, in this economy, you can't afford to not be serious.
Yeah.
You just can't.
I kind of had a question regarding what she just said. You said like you had to. So for you, what do you think got you to that mindset where you were like, okay, you know, people are having kids, people are not being that serious, because having a college, I've been through college and it's not the easiest thing you do out there.
It's definitely not.
And having to see people, you know, do all that stuff. Like, what got you in there? Is it your upbringing? Is it like,
I would definitely say my upbringing, because you know I'm from Cameroon, so even though I don't have an accent, I came here when I was 6 years old, but I still feel like my mom instilled those values in me. Like, you have to work hard to play hard. Like, you can't just play around all the time. And let's be honest, she was a little strict too, so it wasn't really too much room.
African parents. African
you
parents.
know, once I got to college, I did move out and it was more freedom, but what she taught me still was instilled in me, which is like, you know, you have to work hard to play hard. So the harder I worked, I mean, I also played hard just to balance it, because I don't want to work too hard and then God forbid I die tomorrow. Then what did I work hard for?
Yep. So what I'm getting is like finding balance between working hard, having fun, and all
just
that.
doing what you want to do. Exactly.
But what did you learn? What have you learned so far
in my early 20s?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm just gonna say like the big part is I've learned about like decisions, the decision making. Like you gotta be able to. You need to know that the decisions you take in your early 20s, they can like really affect you. Because you take those decisions and you don't even realize, like, you're not thinking about the future. You're thinking about the now. Like, let me do this now because I'm going to have fun. And then tomorrow you look back and you're like, I really should not have done this. And it's like really something dumb. For instance, I would say like going to the club, spending a lot of money in the club. Like, that was something that I used to do. Yeah, I'm not saying that don't go out there and have fun.
I'm about to say, don't
obviously,
lie.
No, I'm not saying don't go out there and have fun. You get, but like, there's got to be like
a limit.
to it. There's got to be a limit. A lot of us, we just party, and it's just
out.
like we're just once you get your check, you're off to the club every weekend, and it really does not help. The memories, they're good and everything, but tomorrow you're gonna look back and be like,
One thing I was going to add to Bado's point was like, I feel like a lot of people just have this thing is like, my 20s is to party and have fun. But it's like, it doesn't end there. You can party at 40 when you're more established. You can party in your 30s. You can party in your mid-20s. So it's just
you can
like,
party at any time.
I don't know what gives us the idea. Like, I mean, sometimes we're just excited, you know, straight out of college.
I mean, I get it though, because let's be honest, you'll never be young again. Time is the only thing you cannot get back. Like, you can get money back, but you can't get your time back. So I get having fun and turning up, because baby, you would never look this fine ever again.
No, that's true.
I mean, so I get it, but also, like you said, tomorrow is still coming. Like,
my whole point is like, you can party, obviously, right? Like, have fun. Don't just be like, I'm just gonna sit back and then just try to save up. Go out there, have fun. But you have to also remember the fact that you're going to wake up tomorrow and you need to have breakfast. You need to have lunch. You need to have dinner. Some of us,
breakfast, lunch,
some people go out. Some people go out and they have fun all night, and then they wake up tomorrow and they can't even get something from McDonald's to eat. That's stupid decision.
I kind of have another question, which is, you know how like we swipe through TikTok now, and then it's just a lot of people, our generation, complaining a lot about the economy and how things are a lot more difficult for us. So what do you have to say about that? Like, the economy right now, do you think it's fair for us? You know, like, I feel like our parents, it was more guaranteed. Like, if you go to college, then you're going to get that to your house and you can do that. So in your experience, like, how is it like going through your 20s with, the current economy?
It's hard, which is why I was saying you got to work hard, because even right now I have 3 jobs.
Oh.
I work at the school, then I work on weekends in a psychiatric inpatient hospital, and then sometimes I do Walmart deliveries. So it's just like, even with a master's degree, I still have to be able to have different multiple streams of income, because if not, how am I going to be able to travel? How am I going to be able to buy that Shein card? Get my hair done, my nails done.
They're going to nail you on that Shein card right now. Like,
okay, the cart is loading right now still.
Yeah.
But like, I want those things for myself. So it's just like, yeah, I'm going to party and turn up, but also because I want those things later on too. And let's be honest, as we get older, we're elevating. So it's just like, I'm not going to be on the same wave of partying and turning up. Like Bado said, like, you used to party, you still party.
I still
but
party,
not
but
as much.
Exactly.
So as we get older, it's just like, sometimes we elevate and we reduce certain things and increase more things. But yeah, you got to work hard.
I just usually say we're now the new adults. Because I remember when I used to look back at like comments stuff, and then people are like, how do people go to the club every weekend? How do people go out like every day and stuff like that? And it was just funny to me because I used to do it, but now I can't even do it. First off, not because I don't want to do it, but first because the economy is like crazy. There's no money.
Have you seen a person?
And then it's just so draining. Sometimes I go out to the club and it's just like, I want to go home.
You're tired.
My friends be like, let's go to an after party. I'm just like, nah.
Is it that you're tired, or is that the funds are kind of restricted to being an adult and
but obviously the funds is there, you get. But even when I make up my mind, like I want to go out, I don't mean like the funds.
He said the funds.
No. I mean, like, okay, the problem of like limited funds is also there, but even when I make up my mind, like I want to go out, like I want to go out and have fun, I still go out, and then it's like I can't wait to go
though, because he turned down the after party last time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, let's go home.
But I feel like club culture isn't even the same anymore either. It's all about getting a table. You have to buy bottles. It's not even about dancing anymore. Just going and having a good time.
I feel like it's for people that actually go in there just maybe show off or different things. Because if I go out, I'm gonna have fun. I don't care who else is having is not having fun.
My friends will tell you I'm there to have fun.
I'll take a shot. I'll be fine tomorrow.
That's my girl right here.
I'm not doing all that. Like, I'm just gonna sit here and like that's on you. Like you can think whatever you want of me. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna look back and be like, I'm gonna regret it.
Exactly.
The thing is with females, I feel like it's kind of different. You get like dancing the club and stuff, but with guys, especially if your guys are on the same length with you can't just wake up and you're everywhere. Like even if you're gonna dance, I mean, you're gonna obviously like there's gonna be some swag with it and stuff. But if your friends are not like dancing, it's gonna kill the vibe, and also you don't want to be the only one dancing.
Very true, but I wouldn't even care. Like she said, I don't care. Like if I paid my money to come out, I'm taking that shot and I'm dancing. Like there was a time I was the only one dancing at the table, and that is okay.
I was about to say, like after 2 shots of anything, I don't even gotta say it because anybody that knows me knows it. Like I would have
moving.
Yeah, I'm not controlling myself.
The music is controlling me. Like no.
So to continue with our topic of like going to school, paying bills and all that, what do you think is like the best lifestyle for us in our 20s? If you were to advise people that are in high school getting into their 20s, like what's the best advice you can give them right now?
Like you said, from high school going into college?
No, into their 20s.
Into their 20s.
Yeah. Or those that are already in your, starting your early 20s,
Honestly, my best advice is finding that balance. Like everyone's balance looks different. You just have to find what works for you. Like I found what works for me. Even though I'm saying I work 3 jobs, there's a balance there. Like it's not like I'm working 7 days a week or anything like that. And I travel to kind of balance the fact that I have those 3 jobs and I'm working hard too. So just finding what works for you and keeping up with that.
I was gonna ask you, like you said you had 3 jobs. I have 1 and I feel like after 5, I'm just like, I can't do this shit no more.
Yeah.
I need to clock out. I need to not think about work. So how is it navigating 3 jobs?
It's pretty easy because I work at a school. So it's literally, I'm off by 3 o'clock. So the rest of the day is just for me. And then I work every other weekend in my second job. So at least I still have 2 weekends off a month.
Oh, okay.
And then the Walmart delivery, I pick when I want to do that. So let's say I'm off one day because it's a holiday like Memorial Day or President's Day. Maybe I'll choose to do it, or maybe I'll just chill and use that day off to just rest. My job also allows me to have a lot of PTO, which is a good thing because I still get paid even when I'm off. And it's funny because even though I work at a school, I'm not employed by the school. So like they have their own, like they only have 10 days off that they can use because there's a lot of holidays and stuff in school. But me, I have like 200 hours of PTO. On top of having like, you know, some of their vacations off as well. So it's just like I am able to balance it, luckily, because my full-time job allows me to do that.
That's amazing. So do you think getting your master's degree, and I know especially now a lot of people downplay college a lot. It's like, don't go to college, or don't waste your time going through college, it's too expensive. Do you think you had like that reward, merit reward type thing going through college?
I would honestly say I did, because I was smart with it. Like I paid attention in high school so that I got those scholarships, and I didn't really have to come out of pocket too much for college. So even with now, I don't really have that much student loan. So most of the income is coming straight to me and not going to some institution that I literally graduated years ago. But it's just like, I understand sometimes all of us can't be that proactive or make those decisions in that real time. But once we get to that point where we want more for ourselves, like I said, finding that balance. Like if you want more money to be able to retire early, then maybe you might have to sacrifice and work an extra job for maybe a certain period of time. Or if you want to plan that trip to Tokyo, you might have to pick up. But you know, life is all about sacrifices sometimes too. Like you can't always have it your way. Yeah, I'm saying I'm the life of the party. I like to have fun, but I'm a girl that likes to have fun, but also have a plan.
You gotta have a plan. You need to have a plan. That's just one thing that we don't do. We don't plan. We like.
Some people don't plan. I feel
a lot of people don't.
I feel like my whole life I kind of planned my whole, I don't know. I probably was just raised this way. I have like immediate goals. And then I have 5-year goals. 10 years is too much.
Oh yeah, that's
too
too
but
far.
It's like, I want to be, because one thing I've also learned is life will shock you. You understand? Like you can have, I'll do this and I'll do that and I'll do that. And then you get here and it's like,
it's a whole
obstacle course. And you're like, oof. I gotta go this way.
Seriously, that was me, because I had got fired from a job that I did not expect to be fired from. Like, girl, okay.
Yeah, sometimes they be like that.
Why would they fire me?
Sometimes you be like, I have this job on lockdown, and then they just.
One thing about me, I can peep it, and I'll quit. I'll quit before you fire me. That's one thing. There's never been a day where an employer, like, even when they tried that shit, bro, I called their headquarters and I was like, I feel like this shit is unfair.
Yes.
And we're going to take it.
I have an advocate right here.
Yes.
She's going to advocate for herself.
They get my job back. Because you have to stand up for yourself, especially when you're in a job. Because sometimes you can see the signs. And that's something that people just like overlook. It's like when your manager starts nitpicking, when they start like complaining about like extra shit, talk about like some productivity, but you know you're doing good, and you just see sometimes it's just straight up like flat out discrimination at work, and you just see them building that case against you. You gotta build one against them too, bro.
So talking about like jobs and working, do you feel like our careers are something we don't take serious in our early 20s? Like people are just like, I'm just gonna work on McDonald's. I'm just gonna work. I'm not saying like it's a bad job or anything. It can be like a stepping stone for some people, but some people are just like, I just want to do that for the rest of my life. Do you feel like it's something that we don't take serious in our early 20s?
I feel like a lot of the times people make decisions that lead to them only having those options as jobs. Maybe it might not even be their choice. They might want a different job, but they don't know how to get there. Or they don't have the knowledge to get there. So sometimes it's just the restriction of the economy and the society we live in. Like if you don't go to college, or if you don't have somebody backing you up, or like letting you put your foot in the door, then.
And the lack of support, that environment and all that stuff. But I feel like, again, I've kind of always had a plan. My mom made sure I had a plan.
Yes.
She had higher plans for me.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Huh?
What did you want to be?
I was going to be a physician. I was going to be a medical doctor. So for my undergrad, I did biological science and all that extra.
Oh, you were in the books. Yes.
Yeah, I was. When I left, not even undergrad, like my associate's degree, I already had like 100 and something credits. So when I transferred to UD, I only had to do 20 or whatever the minimum is whatever I had to do.
You had to do.
Yeah, to graduate, because I did so effing much. And it's to be a physician, first of all, you don't. It's not only about finishing these courses. You're gonna be in the high A's because it's highly competitive.
Yeah.
So most of my early 20s, that's why like I really can't relate to a lot of like, oh, I wasted it type thing.
No.
Because you was burning the midnight oil.
I was in school, like I was in like all that. Oh, I'm tapping into this energy shit. Was tapping into that chem class or that math class.
But it paid off though.
Of course, it always pays out. When you work hard, you invest in yourself, and it's not just one straight path in life. After I finished that, I went to the military. And so
How was basic training?
I broke 5 bones.
I know they worked you hard.
Oh my god!
You came back a year later, right?
Yeah, I came back over a year later because I ended up getting recycled because I had a hip fracture and then I had like my knee broken and then my shins broken. So
oh my god,
that's a whole nother episode that we could have. Let's do that on like our R&B career. So it's like my village people were out for me when I was in training. So it was just, but I mean like when I was in there, because I'm so good at like being toxic to myself. Like I was beating myself. Not even that I was beating myself up, but it was just not giving myself as much grace as I should have. But I learned, looking back, I learned so much. And at least now, like when life is going really hard, which is something that we need to practice in our early 20s or throughout our lives even, is gratitude. It's like now I can wake up every day and be like, Lord, even though my life is shitty right now and I'm not in the emotional space that at least I have these legs.
Yes.
Because I've been without them. I'm telling you. Have you ever been, you've been injured,
Yeah,
right?
I have an injury right now. So.
Oh my goodness. Another one?
Ankle, the one I've had ever since.
No, remember you had your groin thing from soccer? Yeah. But
no, it wasn't my groin, it was my ankle. It's always been my ankle.
Dang.
Yeah, you don't want to be injured, especially when your legs.
I've never been injured.
No. I mean, you probably have your vitamins up. I would just say, like, take your essential vitamins.
Yeah, I do try to take that. I started taking it now because we're getting older.
But talking about, like, standing up for yourself, like, have you ever had to stand up for yourself in your early 20s?
Yes. Anybody that knows me, like, this mouth is going to be used. It's going to be used. But I know how to code switch. Like, meaning I know how to, like, stand up for yourself in different situations. Exactly. Yeah. Like, it doesn't always have to be the loudest in the room. Sometimes you can be... but still clock some tea and really get somebody looking like, oh, wow. Oh, I didn't expect that from her. Yeah. Because, of course, I'm still going to do my job and I'm always going to be respectful. But when I feel like there's disrespect coming my way or something is not really fair to me, I'm going to let it be known. And if you don't like that, that's okay. Because one thing about our generation is that we don't settle. We really don't. And I will always get another job. Like, that's why I went to school. That's why I worked hard. That degree is still mine. So, even though this job might not be mine.
Knowledge is yours.
Exactly. You can never take that knowledge away. So, it's just like, anywhere. I'm not going to settle. So, that's it.
I think regarding the question you asked, it's just like, I'm just like her, to be honest. I cannot be suppressed. It doesn't matter.
I know that one for sure. I know that one for
it's
sure.
Just, for me, it's just one of those things that it's almost impossible for me to be suppressed. Because, like, if I do stay quiet to mistreatment or like disrespect, I'll have a crazy outburst. Yes. And that's something that you can't do at a job or something. So if I feel disrespected or in a certain it's not every micro thing that you have to address.
Exactly.
But if it's something that I feel like, okay, it can't slide, I don't let it slide because you have to know not to do it again.
You do.
And sometimes people don't even know what it is that they did. So you just have to make sure you don't repeat it.
It's all about communication, I feel like in life.
And effective communication.
Right. Yeah. And it's not about every battle that you have to fight.
Yeah, you have to. But at work, I feel like especially you have, I don't care what level you're starting at or where you're at, as long as you know that you're right, even if it's like your CEO, this is America, bro, your CEO or whoever, because some people work with the people that own their brands or something, let them know you don't stand for that. They'll respect you more because they know not to fuck with you.
When you they'll I feel like people test you.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying test you, but like, let's say in life we always like we're always observing what we can get away with and what we can't get away with. Let's be for real. Let's be honest. That's how you play the game of life. You got to know where, what path is easier, which path is harder. So it's just like, everyone is going to try to see what they can get away with you. And like you said, if you let them slide, baby, they're going to figure skate. Like, so you
gotta stand up for yourself.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you staying quiet, you're just killing yourself.
You are.
Because when it's time to get fired or that lay off and they want to lay you off, girl,
they don't care. They're gonna replace you tomorrow.
Exactly.
They're gonna replace you tomorrow.
A job will always be there. That's why I always tell people, because there was this lady at my job, and she just was like, when she started working, she was working. I said, girl, hold on. You can't be working every single day. You have to slow down. And of course, the job got used to her working so hard and putting all that effort. So they demanded that at that point. Like, that was what you were putting forth. So that's what you're going to have to continue to put it forth. And then she's mad at other people because they're not doing the same amount of work as her. But it's like, that's what you came into the job with. You set the tone. Yeah. I'm not saying don't work hard, but don't work too hard.
Don't kill yourself.
And I feel like you can work hard, but you have to get strategic about it.
Yes.
They pay you to do it. You have a job description. Like, especially for me, and I think you might relate to it too, and you too, especially with our jobs and stuff. Yeah. It's like when you get passionate about something, you're like, shit, I gotta get this going. I need to get this going. And we kind of work in like, there's a deadline. Yeah. And you get it done today. You're not just gonna sit there and then not like.
No, they're gonna give you more work. So that's what I'm saying. No, I'm not doing that. That's working too hard. No.
Yeah. So I mean, you still gotta be mindful of the people you work with, to help people out, but don't burn yourself out for a job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Bado said, the job will fire you today, and someone else will come in and replace you tomorrow.
Yep. And that's so. As a counselor, right? What are some things that you've learned? You work with kids
in middle school.
Mm-hmm. So what are some things that I feel like you've worked with these kids and you've had some experience? What are some advices that you can give, maybe even parents in your 20s on because you're the ones that stay with these kids and you have to deal with, like what's the mindset?
Honestly, the mindset, it goes back to communication. I just feel like I see a lot of the times parents don't communicate with their kids. So these kids are finding that communication somewhere else. It might be now as TV, because a lot of the times that's where they're getting a lot of their influence from, a lot of their advice on how to handle conflict. If their parents aren't doing it, they're going to get it from somewhere else, outward sources. So, and even with the parents too, because maybe their parent didn't communicate with them, so they don't really know how to communicate with their kids because they don't know any better. If you weren't taught something, how do you know how to do it unless you go out and proactively try to learn that skill? So I would just say communication and just improving that communication, because let's be honest, we're all social creatures here. We can't survive without other people. Like, we need people in our lives. So yeah, communication.
Well,
before we wrap it up, I'm just gonna say, can we talk about, because we talked about mistakes that we make in our early 20s. I'm gonna talk for the guys, but do you guys want to touch on some mistakes ladies make in your early 20s and they realize later on, or maybe the ones you've personally realized later on that
I think that we should start, since you're asking the question.
I already hit one.
No, you should give us a couple more.
No, I already hit one. You guys go first.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
I think a mistake a lot of women make is falling in love and putting a guy before themselves. And I always say, not saying love isn't important, let's be honest, but I feel like love is about partnership, and you got to put that person beside yourself. You can't put them in front of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Care about yourself, but then also care about what they got going on. But I just feel like a lot of women, we put guys in front of us and then we pour into them. And then when the relationship is over, we have nothing left for ourselves. And it's like, now we're like, oh my God, he came and turned my life around. It didn't happen to me, but I'm just saying, this is what I've observed. It didn't happen to me, but this is what I've observed. And then maybe they'll have a baby out of it. And then now they're not a baby's a blessing, let's be honest, but it still makes you have to work a little bit harder to get to your goals, So I would just say, putting yourself first, always, of course God, but then yourself, and then whoever else comes after.
Yeah. Oh, I have to give one too. What was the question again?
What is a mistake most women, or if we've made it ourselves, do in their 20s?
I think, in relation to what she said too, it's I feel like not only does it have to do with relationships, it's with family, it's with friends. We put all these people, we prioritize a lot of unnecessary stuff. But I feel like in our early 20s, we should be prioritizing ourselves. building ourselves so that we can support those people more.
Exactly.
Because you can't like support people if you don't have the means to.
You can't pour into an empty cup.
Yeah, if you don't have the emotional capacity to. And also to your point about like, you know, putting guys first and stuff. One thing about me, I'm gonna be in love, probably crazy, but I'm gonna have that job.
Yes.
I'm gonna clock in.
Yes.
You know yourself already.
Yeah, I'm
You're still gonna be a little independent.
Yeah,
Yes.
not a little independent. I'm gonna have the job.
Yep.
I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna make sure the degree is degreeing because
Yes.
I don't want to cry. I hate to regret, and I think they say regret is one of like second most powerful emotion.
It is.
Yeah, because like you'll beat yourself up so much just looking back. It's like, oh, I invested so much time into this person. And to me, most guys are selfish. They're gonna put their needs first. They're gonna put their dreams ahead of them. They're gonna put their dreams ahead of them. So I would just say like prioritize yourself. Your mental health is important.
Yes.
And just like stand up for yourself in general.
I'm not gonna refuse on the fact that you said guys are, because me personally, what I always say is put yourself first. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or you're a female or you're a lady. You need to put yourself first, and I always put myself first, regardless of who I am with. So that's one thing that I'm not gonna deny. But when it comes to like mistakes that guys make, I'm gonna say I've already talked about like the clubbing.
Yeah.
Another one that I feel like a lot of guys make, but I know you guys are gonna love to hear this, is going after a lot of women.
Yo, okay. Continue.
I'm not. Yeah, a lot of guys. I feel like in our early 20s, we kind of like go after a lot of women. And also, that's just like, because cheating is expensive.
Okay, he's spilling a lot of tea.
Cheating is expensive. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you know why I'm laughing?
Why?
I'm like, how would you know?
That's why he's spilling tea, because he's
How would
Continue,
you know?
Mano.
I mean, I'm just being honest.
Okay,
right? I'm
continue,
not,
yeah.
Don't judge me.
I mean, I might have like wanted to do it and then I figured it out. You don't know how. I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying I'm not accusing you.
But yeah, cheating is expensive. That's one mistake that a lot of guys we do make in our early 20s. And I feel like when you grow up, you realize hey, that was like, the fun part of it was good and all of that. But you're like, okay, maybe I should have used this time to do something else.
Yeah.
Or maybe I should have just had 2 women instead of having.
Oh, just 2.
Scratch that off.
But...
I'm just kidding, guys.
Yo.
But yeah, because a lot of guys.
You should have said yo. I'm kidding.
yo. I'm kidding. But yeah, a lot of guys like they do tend to have like a lot of women when they're coming up, when they're in their early 20s. That excitement and stuff, and it's
But I
just
feel like it
a lot
goes
of
both
ways to your
ways.
20s.
Women have a lot of men too. Let's be honest. It's both ways. I'm just gonna clock a tea.
She spilled the tea.
I'm just saying, like,
She
women have
spilled the tea.
rosters, so.
So I guess it's like so I guess it's like guys and women, right? Yeah, but that's just one thing that we do in our early 20s. And when you get to your mid 20s, late 20s, you're like, I just wasted this time talking to a whole lot of guys, talking to a whole lot of ladies, and now I'm stuck here by myself. Yeah.
That's life. I mean, you got to make better choices. Like you said, either you want to be with Tom, Bill, and Harry, or you want to find that one person you can build with. And it's like a plant. You got to nurture and feed. But I mean, if you don't nurture and feed your garden, at the end of the life, you're going to be looking and it's going to be barren.
It's hard,
There's
though.
nothing going to be there.
It's
nothing.
It's hard for a lot of people. That's the truth.
So
hard.
I have one final question, and we can kind of wrap it up because I know we're kind of going over time. So what is one thing that we do in this generation, especially in our 20s, that we should continue doing since we've talked about the mistakes? So what's one positive thing that you think this generation has incorporated and that we should continue doing?
I would say not settling. I feel like we are a generation where we were like, when George Floyd died, a lot of us like were out, like, we were protesting. Like, we were just doing a lot. We were letting our voices be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like our generation does not settle. Like, we don't settle. We are going to get what we want. and we're gonna make sure we get that, whatever means necessary. I'm not saying whatever means necessary, but you know, like you know what I mean.
No to buy stuff.
Exactly. So like, don't settle whether it's in like a relationship, whether it's in a job, whether it's in your finances, like whatever you want for yourself, believe that you can get it, because manifestation is real. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to speak that into existence. And I always tell my friends, like, I speak it, I write it down, and
Speaking
I believe
it.
Exactly. And I give it to God. And once I give it to God,
it's
finished.
happen.
It's finished. It's done. Like, it's done.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't settle.
Don't settle, guys. Don't settle.
Yeah, I agree on not settling. And I mean, that's really it. Like, I like that we prioritize ourselves, and I like that a lot more women are coming to the realization that life is not centered around men, and that we need to stand up for ourselves, work hard, make that money, and provide the lifestyle that you want for yourself, because it's very, very attainable.
It is.
You know, like, if he can get it, if she can get it, you can get it. You don't have to go to extreme measures, you know, not kill yourself. And also, one thing I would say to end before we end is, like, I feel like we put too much time constraint on things, you know.
Yeah.
20s is not the end it all, do it all.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't get it in your early 20s, in your mid 20s, in your late 20s, it's not the end of the world. Not even in your 30s, you know. As long as you have life, breath. There's people that graduate school 70s, you know, 80s. I don't know what point, you know.
But they still do it.
They still do it, and it's some type of gratification that they get. You know, and that's, I'm just saying,
go after what you want. Basically,
just go after it. Stop putting that time constraint on yourself, because that just increases the pressure.
And the regret.
Yeah, and the regret. Instead, try to be a better person today than you were yesterday, and the day before, like we're doing our reality repeat.
I always say 1% better.
Yeah,
and
that's his motto.
Yeah, that's my motto, 1% better. And for me, I'm just gonna say the last one is make better decisions. That's just all I'm gonna say, because everything boils down to decision making. If you make better decisions, you find out that you're doing the right things. Think about whatever you're doing before you do it. Don't just do it and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done this. But for me, that's just all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but I will also say, even if you don't make better decisions, also know that mistakes are on the path to success. Like,
you learn
success
from
has
them.
never been accomplished without mistakes being
Don't
made.
beat yourself down.
Yeah, have grace, like you were saying. You know, having grace for ourselves and knowing that, finding that balance, not living in regret, making better decisions, but also knowing that life is all about second chances sometimes as well.
Yeah, and
learn from your mistakes.
Exactly.
That's why it's kind of like
learn
every
from
time
your
we
mistakes.
make a decision, we toss a coin.
It's 50-50.
Yeah,
like you said,
it
go, you have this view, and boom, you never know what you're gonna get. So
yeah, well, we're so used to ending this shit.
Yeah.
He was about to conclude.
Go ahead. I'll let you take it.
Anywho, thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Reality on Repeat. As always, I hope you guys learn one or two things. Personally, I learned something is, you know, just being prioritizing ourselves more, you know, from our counselor here. So yeah, so just prioritize ourselves more, and I'll pass it on to Bado to end it all.
Well, that's all I have to say. I mean, that's all. I don't have anything else to say. But guys, thank you guys once more for tuning in. And like we always say, continue to give us your suggestions. Continue to support us. We do appreciate the support. And remember to follow our social media channels. That is Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Reality on Repeat _podcast and
YouTube.
And remember to subscribe on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Bye, guys, and see you on our next episode.
Yay. See you guys.
Bye.